Hello everybody, AVT here, and I am back with another video for Star Wars Galaxies Legends, and some of you may recognize where I am right now. I am inside the Exar heroic instance yet again. This is the first boss, the Open Hand of Hate, and I've had a couple of requests to make a video on how to solo heal this entire instance, so I'm going to break it up into a couple videos. That way it's really easy to find, really accessible, so if you need to view it on the fly, you totally can. So while we're waiting for our group to come in here, I'm going to go over the method we're going to be using really quickly. This is called the commando method, or commonly referred to as the Mando method. So basically, we're going to have a tank on the Open Hand of Hate. Once the cultists go down, per normal, everybody else is going to back up to the back wall, and then the commandos are just going to apply dots to the Open Hand of Hate, and that's how we're going to DPS them down. It's a really safe way to do this. I like it a lot when you're solo healing because it's incredibly reliable. It makes it very, very easy on the medic. The only thing that you need to be aware of if you're an officer and you're doing this, and I can go over that in another video because I also play officer, you need to be spamming your buffs, just your standard 3 buffs, so that you can get inspired action to proc to make sure that the medic has the action required to continue healing the group. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wait for the rest of my group to show up, and then I'll start talking more about how we're going to get through this first phase of the instance. Alright, so it looks like we're about to get started. Basically what's going to happen is I believe my commando here is going to go up and tank the Open Hand of Hate, and as the medic, I'm going to go with them, and I'm going to kind of run around in the center circle here, and that's because once you have aggroed the boss himself, he's going to be throwing these electrical ground storms at you, and if you're standing with your group, it's going to drop them on your group, and it's very easy to get yourself killed. So just kind of be aware of that, and looks like we're about to get started. We are also trying to walk a new person through this, so I'm going to maybe do a little bit of double explaining. I'll be explaining for the video, and I'll be explaining in chat for our new bounty hunter friend here. So we'll see how this goes. Might be a little bit of a rocky ride, but I think we'll get there. So there you go. As you can see, I have been drugged into combat because I'm healing the commando, and this is the debuff I was talking about here. Static cling, you're attracting fast energies. That's what's going to be dropping those electrical fields under my feet that I need to be looking out for. So basically, I'm just going to run around out here in the middle so that I don't drag those into my group and just be watching for them on the ground as you're doing your healing. And this is really what you're going to do until all the cultists are dead. A lot of the phases of the Exar instance are basically just time-locked behind a series of scripted events. This is definitely one of those. So it does take a little time, but it's doable. Give myself a little health, keep an eye on my healer. I try not to heal the rest of my group members if I don't have to during this first phase here. Sometimes it drags them into combat, and other times it doesn't. I haven't, through all my time playing this game, been able to figure out why that is. I thought for a while maybe it was heal over time, and that doesn't seem to matter. I thought maybe it was instant heals, group heals. It just seems kind of random. If anybody actually knows what causes that, I would love to hear it, but I have yet to figure that out. Also, I know I've covered it in another video, but keep an eye on this shared pain buff. That basically is or I keep calling it a buff, debuff. That is the buff that's going to make it, I'm going to have to heal a guy. That's going to make it so that whatever damage being dealt to the Open Hand of Hate is being dealt back to that person. This guy is really squishy. That might be an issue. I don't know why he's taking so much damage. Yeah, and see, now he's attracting the energies. Oh, I think it's because he's standing in them? I'm not sure. But now he's going to have to pay attention since he's been drugged into combat with the boss, which is what I was trying to avoid. But I believe he would have died if I didn't heal him there. Oops, I walked through that. He's a very squishy Jedi for some reason. It's a little bit of a non-ideal situation when something like this occurs, because then you're having to heal multiple group members here instead of just focusing on your tank, but it's not the end of the world. It's still manageable even on a single healer. I need to do better at not running through those electrical storms, focusing too much on talking. Looks like there are just a few cultists left, so it shouldn't be too bad. I never put my familiar away for some reason, but that's okay. Looks like one cultist left. I can see him on the map right there. And once that cultist goes down, is when the real fun begins. This guy is not helping me by eating up my heals. Generally, the rule I use when playing Medic is just kind of a side note. Actually, I'll tell you that in a moment. We are going to begin the portion where we're using the commando method. So basically, the tank is going to begin running him around the room, and then he's just going to get dots applied, and that's what's going to be doing the damage. So as you'll be able to see, whoever has the shared pain debuff is going to be taking pretty consistent damage from him. I really wish this Jedi was not in combat with him. But that's just how this is going to work. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on your own health bar as well. Super important. I'm going to have to back bomb this guy, which is a bit of a bummer. I really like saving that for my tank. But just as kind of a general rule when playing Medic, this guy's just standing in an electricity field. Okay, gosh. I basically just spam this first ability since the cooldown is basically nothing, and it allows you to save your other cooldowns for either when your group takes a large amount of damage, so when I need to use an AoE heal like my back to spray, or it allows me to save my back to bomb for when a single target takes a huge hit of damage and get them back up to full health. This Jedi's going to be the death of me. Try to hit him with my back to spray. I'm glad this Mando is very tanky. It's making this pretty easy. But for the most part, this is going pretty smoothly. I'm not sure why we only have one electricity dot on him. Typically, you'll have, since you have two commandos, they're going to be running different elements, and that's where your damage is going to be coming from, is the 20 dots that are on the boss. Let's see if I can get everybody with this back to spray. And as you can see, I'm just saving my back to bomb and my back to spray for when I really need it. I'm spamming my instant cooldown healing ability, and I'm spamming my AoE heal over time. And as long as your officers can keep your action up, this is a very effective way of healing most situations. Just realized my power-ups are also expired, which is not great. Wonder if I can take a moment and reactivate them. There we go. That will help. I was wondering why my heals weren't as strong as they usually are. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, since I've had my mind on a lot of things, but one of the things I really like to do is I like to use my heal stim to heal myself when at all possible. That way I can focus on using my other heals on my group members. And I know, it does take some time, but he is slowly going down. As you can see, the tank still does take quite a bit of damage, so just make sure that you're very vigilant on the health of your tank so that they don't get dropped. my back to spray, give myself a little bit of a break. Hit myself with a heal really quickly. Use another heal stem on myself. And there we go, he's down. And that, right there, is how you can take out the Open Hand of Hate solo medic with the commando method. I hope this was helpful. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.